Hello, this is Yulia Goff with Resilient Life Counseling and Wellness in Farmington, Utah, and I'm really happy to have Tamilyn Fillmore here with me, my colleague. And actually today we wanted to talk about becoming resilient. One of the workshops that we have a series of 5 this year. This is our penultimate one in April. We have one more in May, but today we wanted to focus on the April one, which will be on Saturday, April 11th here in Farmington, and Tamilyn will be kind of head facilitator for that. So we wanted to make sure to take a second and chat about that, what we can expect. So yeah, I mean, becoming resilient, of course, for those of you who may not know, is more of a group experience, and Tamilyn, I know you have a passion for groups,
yes.
And a lot of knowledge too. And so do you mind sharing with us why groups are valuable, maybe in addition to individual therapy?
Yeah, passion is the exact word I was going to use, that I'm passionate about the power of group work. And for so many reasons, it multiplies the effect of what you're trying to do around positive change.
Yeah.
One thing is that as you say things out loud, they become more true. And so if you're inviting yourself to say your thoughts and feelings and struggles out loud with a large group of people, it multiplies the effect of making that more true. Like, oh, I've thought about and wondered if, and then it brings it alive. And then you get feedback from multiple perspectives, and that's one of the greatest indicators of help, is being able to perspective take. And so when you're in a group, it gives you practice in one of those important ingredients to health and wellness, is to be able to hear and digest multiple perspectives.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I feel like being in a group it's as valuable to listen to other perspectives as it is maybe hear yourself express your own.
Yes.
And so I'm with you on group being a very really truly unique experience, unique healing, closer to our health overall experience.
And it takes courage.
So much courage,
right? It takes courage to show up in a vulnerable space with other people, and we're always just practicing, and so this is an opportunity to practice courage.
Yeah, I love that opportunity to practice courage and experience courage, right?
Yes.
In that healing supportive space. Yeah, well, what about the content? As head facilitator, what can you share with us about that April 11th content?
Yeah, another thing I'm passionate about is the idea that we are the owner of our own lives, the owner and the builder of our own lives. So I consider myself what you would call a differentiation therapist. And the idea behind that is the importance of recognizing that our primary responsibility, our almost sole primary responsibility, is to look inward, be honest with ourselves, and then find and determine what steps we need to take for our own health and wellness. And so the focus on this session of the group is around idea. What can we do to strengthen the ownership that we take of our own life?
Yeah, I love that.
So we're going to talk a lot about boundaries, because boundaries are the tool that we use to build our own life.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of misunderstandings about boundaries.
It's a word that gets used a lot.
It's a word that gets used a lot.
And it's surprising how many different ways people understand or present the definition of that word. And obviously we will take so much more time to define what boundaries mean to us. On April 11th, I will be there, Tamilyn will be there. But just kind of as a general sort of idea, how do you think of boundaries?
Well, yeah, let me give you just a couple of examples of the things that sometimes I think are misunderstood.
Okay.
That we'll talk more about and clarify. One is that a boundary can't just be us saying, this is what's important to me, and then expecting someone else to respect us. A boundary always has two parts to it. And the part one is that self-introspection and determining what our values are and what we want to show up in our life. The things that aren't okay for us, but also the things that are okay and that we want more of. So that's the part one, is finding out about ourselves and what we want our life to look like. And then it has to have the part two, and the part two is the action part. So the question is, if I want this in my life, then I will do this to make it true. Part two is our action, and it has to be fully within our realm of responsibility and ability to execute.
Yeah.
Not reliant on someone else.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a really powerful piece of the concept, I think.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about that and break it up and just practice it, right?
Yeah.
In real life. Like, let's find examples of where you might try to apply this new understanding, this deeper understanding of what boundaries are. Another really important one that I talk about, a distinction about what boundaries are, is people are fearful of drawing boundaries for good reason, sometimes because they're afraid of people's reaction and that they'll be seen as unkind in some way. And something that I like to emphasize is boundaries are always, if they're done right, correctly, the most loving thing that you can do for everyone in the situation. So they're not only loving to yourself to give you what you need, but they're loving to the other as well. The other might not feel like it's loving at first, but let me explain what I mean by that. When we are accommodating for others' needs versus our own, then we're in an enmeshed system. And so we've kind of locked ourselves into a system that prohibits growth towards health and wellness. And when we draw boundaries, we are just saying, I want to differentiate or unenmesh from that system, and I want to raise myself up to a healthier way. And the beautiful thing about that is that when we unenmesh ourselves and raise ourselves up to a healthier way, we are also unlocking the other person that we have been keeping locked in with us as well. So it isn't just that we were the only victim of that locked in system, it's that by participating in it, the other person was locked as well.
Yeah.
And so when we draw these boundaries, it feels uncomfortable because it's a new way, but it is always loving, because as you learn and grow, you're freeing this other person, and then they have to sit with themselves and think, now I have to face myself. Do I also want to learn and grow? And so it's a beautiful, loving invitation to grow the relationship towards healthier,
more maybe genuine, right? All the good things we want in relationships. Fascinating. Tamilyn, I know that both have to get going, but I really want to just thank you for taking time out of your busy day. You work a lot to give us a little preview. So if you would like to join us, I certainly am very excited to be there on April 11th. You can register by calling our office. You can register just by going on the website. You can even register the day of. And so the workshop and this group discussion that we're planning is going to take place on Saturday, April 11th, 10 to 12. So it's about a 2-hour window. And
we eat breakfast together.
We eat breakfast together and talk about always such interesting things. And so if you haven't joined us before, please feel free to. And if you have, please come back, because this will be a good one. Tamilyn, thank you again.
Thank you.